The Nightline begins now with me, Nadia Azmi. Here are the top stories. Federal government to provide additional funds for Pulau Pinang LRT development. And King Charles III crowned at first UK coronation in 70 years. Good morning. King Charles III finally met his date with destiny after a lifetime as heir to his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II. He was officially crowned king on Saturday, the first coronation in Britain since 1953. In front of a congregation of about 100 world leaders and a television audience of millions, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, slowly placed the 360-year-old St. Edward's crown on Charles' head as he sat upon a 14th century throne in Westminster Abbey. Cries of "God Save the King" rang out from the 2,300-strong congregation at the Royal Church, and trumpet fanfares sounded at the climax of the solemn religious confirmation of his accession. Meanwhile, his wife, 75-year-old Camilla, was crowned queen in a simpler ceremony afterwards. Saturday's event was on a smaller scale than that staged for Queen Elizabeth in 1953, but still sought to be spectacular, featuring an array of historical regalia, from golden orbs and bejeweled swords to a scepter holding the world's largest colourless cut diamond. However, before the King and Queen left Buckingham Palace for a rainy procession to the Abbey, police have arrested dozens of protesters who claimed that the royal family has no place in a modern constitutional democracy. The anti-monarchy movement Republic, which wants an elected head of state, said 6 of its organisers were detained. Though the capital was drenched in heavy rain, spirits remained high as thousands turned out in the streets of London and across the UK to witness the historic coronation of King Charles III.
Well, I came to be in the atmosphere, to really live it, and to live this historical moment. I think it's amazing, it's incredible.
That's once in a life, so I'm here to celebrate the King, and it was an event that I'm very proud to have lived in my life. Yeah.
If you look at the theme of the coronation, it's all about the King pledging to serve his people and his country, and I think by giving the Pledge of Allegiance, it's a way of us showing him that we support him in that, and I think it's a good thing.
The historic coronation ceremony of King Charles III and Queen Camilla was also attended by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Bilasha and Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria. Their Majesties are among 2,000 head of state, first ministers and royalties invited to attend the historic coronation ceremony.
Historical moment for me. As the first king of Malaysia to attend. If you look at the history, before there was no king of Malaysia attending coronation 70 years ago.
5 sultans.
Only 4 sultans before the Merdeka. So today tomorrow will be a special day, an honor for me. I look forward to it.
Al-Sultan Abdullah and Tunku Azizah are the first Malaysian heads of state to attend a UK monarch's coronation ceremony. The last time a similar ceremony was held was 70 years ago at the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II as head of state of the UK on June 2nd, 1953. And at that time, Malaya, now Malaysia, was not yet independent and the Yang di-Pertuan Agong institution did not yet exist. The King Charles III's coronation featured the largest military ceremonial parade in 70 years, and Malaysia is also represented in the massive ceremonial procession, which saw the participation of approximately 6,000 UK military personnel, including 400 military personnel from 38 Commonwealth countries. The federal government will allocate additional funds for Pulau Pinang to expedite its light rail transit LRT project. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the federal government will add funds in a large scheme to enable Pulau Pinang to implement its LRT project immediately. Speaking at the Malaysia Madani Open House at University Technology Mara in Permatang Pau, Datuk Seri Anwar said traffic congestion on the island had become a pressing issue and noted that the LRT project is expected to solve the problem of traffic congestion in Pulau Pinang. He added a meeting will be set up with the state government within the next week or two to set up the scheme, as it involves a large amount of loans that require the involvement of the federal government. Datuk Seri Anwar also said he has heard the grouses of locals and fishermen on Pulau Pinang Island's southern coast, where the reclamation of 3 islands under the controversial Pulau Pinang South Islands PSI project are to take place. To ease the issues arising from the island reclamation, the project will be reviewed so its scope can be reduced.
Saya telah meneliti dengan rakan-rakan jemaah menteri. Dan oleh itu saya mengambil kesempatan di sini mengumumkan untuk meredakan permasalahan pengambil alih tanah pulau supaya dapat dikaji semula, diperkecilkan skop. Kerajaan Persekutuan akan menambah dana dalam satu skim yang besar untuk membolehkan kerajaan Pulau Pinang segera melaksanakan LRT di Pulau Pinang.
He also expressed confidence that the state government under the leadership of its Chief Minister, Chow Kon Yeow, has taken various measures in order to give assurance to all parties regarding the issues which have arisen. He also revealed that Transport Minister Anthony Loke has also agreed in principle to the matter and that a meeting will be held with the Treasury Secretary General as well as Finance Ministry officials to find a suitable approach in terms of channeling funds for the project. Commenting on the announcement, Anthony Loke said the federal government had agreed in principle to take over the implementation of the LRT project from the state government to enable it to be carried out as soon as possible. The minister also stressed that since the project will be federal funded, Putrajaya will have the final say on its reports and alignment, though the state had previously conducted studies on the matter. This includes a proposal to house a train depot on one of the 3 man-made islands that will be built under the reclamation project.
Kita akan mengambil sebagai rujukan, tapi kita bukan terikat dengan apa landasan, apakah laluan dan sebagainya. Tapi kita mengambil pertimbangan prioriti kerajaan negeri ialah laluan pertama daripada bayan lepas sehingga Komtar. Itu secara prinsipnya kita setuju. That is the first alignment daripada Pinang Airport sampai ke Komtar. Itu memang satu laluan keutamaan. Itu kita secara prinsip tak ada masalah. Tapi cara pelaksanaan, alignment dan sebagainya akan kita perincikan.
Meanwhile, Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow expressed gratitude to the Prime Minister and the federal government for the funds received after 10 years of the project being proposed.
So this is the best ideal-victory gift for the people of Pinang after the state government have gone through a very tedious process, withstanding all the pressure from the Rakyat and the NGO, withstanding the pressure from the Rakyat who wanted the project to be implemented as soon as possible.
Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Anwar has issued a veiled warning to those trying to topple the unity government under his leadership. The Prime Minister said the government will not compromise if faced with those attempting to sabotage and destabilise the federal administration. Datuk Seri Anwar said he was fed up with constant rumours of plots to bring down the unity government.
Pelaburan dari bukan sahaja negara China, India, Amerika, Australia melonjak naik kerana keyakinan pelabur asing terhadap pimpinan dan kerajaan yang stabil di negara kita. Jangan sabotaj. Kalau kita dah beri ruang dan coba mengganggu-gugat, kita akan bertindak sewajarnya tanpa tolak ansur.
As such, the Prime Minister called on such parties to table a motion of no confidence against him in the next Dewan Rakyat sitting in 2 weeks. However, he issued one condition, that this be the final such episode so that focus can be channeled towards developing the country.
Desas-desus ini tidak menguntungkan. Kalau benar ada angka, jangan mengigau. Jangan mempersulitkan rakyat. Cari ahli-ahli parlimen yang menyokong mereka. Bawa usul dan saya tidak akan mengelak daripada membentangkan usul undi percaya atau tidak percaya sekiranya ada.
For the past few weeks, there have been rumours that certain political leaders are conspiring to topple the unity government using various means, including quitting their seats to force by-elections, in addition to gathering enough SDs to form a new government. However, several leaders, including those from MCA and Sarawak, have insisted that they were not aware of any such plans. At the same event, Datuk Seri Anwar challenged past leaders who amassed wealth when they were leading the country to surrender half of what they had gained to the Malays if they were truly sincere in helping the community. The Prime Minister said there were leaders in the past who had become rich for themselves and their relatives but failed to help the Malays until today and only spoke about helping and saving the rights of the Malays when they were no longer in power.
Jangan guna kuasa untuk memperkaya sanak saudara. Kemudian bila dah kaya anak sanak saudara, bila hilang kuasa, dia cakap hidup Melayu, nak selamatkan Melayu. Kalau betul nak selamatkan Melayu, saya nak bagi tahu pembesar-pembesar, tun-tun dan Tan Sri yang kaya-kaya ini, begini. Betul nak tolong Melayu? Ya. Yang kamu ambil berpuluh-puluh bilion untung, bagi setengah pada orang Melayu besok.
The Prime Minister also stressed that the call should be relayed to the former leaders in question.
Berapa kekayaan? 10 bilion? 15 bilion? Betul nak tolong Melayu? Ya. Betul menjadi pejuang Melayu? Ya. Betul nak hidupkan Melayu? Kamu sakau itu kamu serah balik pada orang Melayu.
More than 20,000 people thronged the Malaysia Madani Aidilfitri Open House at the UiTM Permatang Pau campus as early as 8 a.m. on Saturday to catch a glimpse of Datuk Seri Anwar. Upon arrival, the Prime Minister proceeded to the tents at the main hall to meet and greet those who have been waiting for him since early morning and also entertained numerous requests from the crowd for selfies.
Pertama kali PM buat kat sini sangat gembira lah kan. Pertama PM kita pun first jadi Perdana Menteri. Jadi Perdana Menteri, jadi kita pun sangat bergembira lah. Kejulang pertama kalinya PM kita buat di Pematang Pau, di tempat beliau sendiri. Saya main daripada seawal 8 pagi. Jadi dalam masa 8 pagi ni orang sangat ramai, ya, orang sangat ramai. So saya sangat gembira lah. Dan berasa suasana hari raya pada tahun itu sangat memeriahkan.
Sungguh seronok dan meriah dan ramai. Terima kasih pada PMX kita untuk jamuan raya ni. Berbagai masyarakat yang ada di kawasan Pematang Pau.
Suasana meriah dan baguslah. Semua kaum terlibat kan. Saya rasa suasana bagus. Ini satu suasana sihatlah untuk negara kita. Harapan kita PMS kita buat lebih baik untuk lagi yang akan datang, masa yang akan datang untuk masyarakat kita, semua kaum lah, buat perkara yang lebih baik dan membawa Malaysia ke tahap yang lebih maju.
Not even a single Barisan Nasional, BN Member Parliament MP, will vacate their seat to attempt to destabilise and topple the unity government. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said his own inquiries showed that rumours about BN MPs planning to resign their seats to force by-elections were untrue.
Walaupun saya mendengar pada peringkat awal ada 13 orang yang mahu meletakkan jawatan. Kemudian angka itu meningkat kepada 15 orang. Saya telah melakukan kaji selidik tiap-tiap seorang ahli parlimen. Saya ingin mengesahkan tidak ada seorang pun ahli parlimen Barisan Nasional apatah lagi daripada UMNO yang mahu meninggalkan dan mengosongkan kursi itu.
He said this in his speech at the Perak UMNO Aidilfitri Open House at College Kemahiran Tinggi Mara Lengkong on Saturday. Datuk Seri Zahid, who is also BN chairman, stressed that the party remains committed to its cooperation with the unity government. He also reiterated that the unity government's aim is to establish stability in the country while also making continuous efforts to safeguard the welfare of the people rather than politicising it. On another matter, Datuk Seri Zahid revealed that the negotiations for the distribution of seats between Barisan Nasional and Pakatan Harapan in the 6 states that will hold state elections are nearing completion. He said that the results of the negotiations would be presented to the Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who will chair the meeting to coordinate the unity government parties on Sunday. Datuk Seri Zahid, who is also BN chairman, said that the results of the negotiations between BN and PH at the state level are expected to be finalised at the national level in the near future.
Lepas ianya diselesaikan, semua keputusan negeri-negeri akan dibawa ke parti masing-masing sebelum ianya diadakan perundingan di peringkat nasional untuk kita memuktamarkan pembahagian. Terutamanya pembagian kursi-kursi.
He said this to the media after attending the open house event organised by the Melaka UMNO State Liaison Body in Masjid Tanah Melaka on Friday. Also present at the open house, which was held at Melaka Chief Minister Datuk Seri Abdul Rauf Yusof's residence, were PH Secretary General Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail, Amanah President Datuk Seri Muhammad Sabu, UMNO Wanita Chief Datuk Seri Noraini Ahmad and several deputy ministers. Datuk Seri Zahid also believes that BN and PH leaders at the state level have a high level of understanding in the issue of seat distribution to face the state polls this time. He pointed out that any questions that arise in the issue of seat distribution will be resolved at the internal party and state level first to ensure that there will be no overlap of seats between BN and PH. The existing Standard Operating Procedure SOP related to COVID-19 will continue even though the World Health Organization WHO has declared that the pandemic is no longer categorized as an international health emergency. However, Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa stated that her ministry is currently discussing the latest protective measures to be implemented and this matter will be announced soon.
Kita sedang melakukan perbincangan di peringkat tertinggi KKM juga dan kita akan meneruskan buat sementara ini kawalan-kawalan yang seperti biasalah SOP seperti biasa itu sehinggalah kita membuat keputusan yang muktamad sama ada untuk mengikut seperti mana yang telah disarankan oleh WHO atau tidak.
She told reporters at the Aidilfitri Open House for Sukijang Parliamentary Constituency at the IOI Bandar Mosque Hall in Johor on Saturday. The Sukijang MP said despite the recent spike in COVID-19 cases, it was still under control with the majority of patients admitted to hospitals being high-risk groups such as those with comorbidities and the elderly. Therefore, Dr. Zaliha advised the public to continue exercising self-control, including wearing a face mask if necessary, especially for those with symptoms, and to maintain personal hygiene. The WHO declared on Friday that the global coronavirus pandemic is no longer an international health emergency. When we come back, aftershocks shake Japan. Stay tuned.
Kadang-kadang saya ingin jadi seperti bunga.
Aftershocks have rattled Japan a day after a powerful earthquake left at least one person dead, with officials assessing damages on Saturday from the jolt that destroyed several buildings. The 6.5 magnitude quake previously hit the central Ishikawa region in mid-afternoon on Friday at a depth of 12 kilometers. According to the Japan Meteorological Agency, more than 50 aftershocks had occurred by Saturday morning as it warned that heavy rain could trigger landslides in the area. Following the aftershocks, it was reported that at least 29 people had been injured. Earthquakes are common in Japan, which sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an arc of intense seismic activity that stretches through Southeast Asia and across the Pacific Basin. Over in India, the death toll from ethnic clashes in the country's remote northeast rose to 54 on Saturday, with fresh violence overnight despite authorities rushing in troops to restore order. The situation remained tense after a fresh bout of violence on Friday night prompted authorities to impose an internet blackout and issued shoot-at-sight orders in an effort to contain the unrest. India's Law Minister Kiren Rijiju said many lives have been lost alongside damage to property, but stated security forces were bringing the situation under control. Tensions arose as the Meitei people who live mostly in the main valley were agitating to be granted scheduled tribe status. Iran has executed a Swedish-Iranian dissident on Saturday who was convicted of leading an Arab separatist group accused of multiple attacks, including one on a military parade in 2018 that killed 25 people. Habib Farajullah Chab was a founder of a separatist group calling for independence for ethnic Arabs in Iran's southwestern Khuzestan province and was sentenced to death for being corrupt on earth, a capital offence under Iran's strict interpretation of Islamic law. Prosecutors said Chab had been involved in attacks since 2005 under the protection of two spy services, including the Mossad and SAPO, which are Israel and Sweden's spy agencies. They alleged that other leaders of the group were based in Denmark, the Netherlands and Sweden, receiving financial and logistical support from Saudi Arabia. Karate gives Malaysia first goals. Stay with us.
Did you?
Shahmala Rani in the women's kumite below 50 kg on Saturday. Shahmala Rani upstaged Junasuki of the Philippines in the final. The scores were tied 1-1, but the referees awarded the match to a more aggressive Shahmala Rani. as Prem Kumar struck it right immediately after delivering the second gold when he won the men's below 55 kg gold. He defeated Chanpet Setapong of Thailand on countback after both were tied 3-all. Malaysia also bagged 2 silver medals on Saturday. Noor Ashira Zainal Abidin brought cheer to the country's mountain biking camp when she won the silver medal in the women's cross-country Olympic individual event. The 29-year-old rider finished the 18.5-kilometer race in Kulan Mountain in a time of 1 hour, 17 minutes, 9 seconds. The success of the national women's mountain bike champion in winning the silver was a repeat of her achievement at the last edition in Hanoi, Vietnam last year. Earlier, obstacle race events contributed Malaysia's first medals at the Cambodia SEA Games. One Atira Hidayah Ahmad Fuzli contributed the country's first medal when she shared the bronze in the women's individual event with Anggun Yolanda Samsul Hadi, despite losing to the Indonesian participant in the bronze medal decider. One Atira Hidayah recorded a time of 41.724 seconds. Malaysia's representative in the men's individual event, Yung Wei Tang, followed suit as he completed every obstacle without any hitches in the 100-meter race with a time of 28.234 seconds. Meanwhile, Thailand used a pair of second-half goals to defeat Malaysia 2-0 in a battle of Group B unbeatens on Saturday. Substitutes Anand Yotsangwal and Yotsakorn Burafa each scored as Thailand broke a scoreless deadlock in the final 20 minutes. Thailand sit tied atop Group B with Vietnam on 6 points after its first 2 matches, while Malaysia suffered its first loss following an opening win over Laos. Temperatures reached 38 degrees at kickoff as the Cambodian capital sizzles from a heatwave. Six policemen remanded over graft probe. The details after this short break. Welcome back. Civil servants have been warned against using terms of endearment like Sayang or dear when speaking to colleagues, as it is now considered a form of sexual harassment. The Public Services Commission, PSC, listed this on a checklist on harassment and disciplinary offences for government departments and agencies last month. According to PSC, sexting, or the act of sending indecent pictures and text messages with sexual connotations, is also a form of harassment. It also stated that extramarital affairs among civil servants would result in disciplinary action against those involved. The PSC's Promotions and Discipline Division drew up the checklist to refine the charges brought against civil servants at disciplinary hearings. PSC also stated that victims of physical harassment must specify whether they were touched, caressed, kissed or hugged when filing a complaint with the disciplinary board. In addition to sexual harassment, the checklist focuses on other offences such as drug-related misconduct, absent without official leave, using falsified medical certificates, making unauthorised public or social media statements, and breaching government procurement protocols. In Pahang, 6 policemen from the Jerantut District Police Headquarters have been remanded until May 11th to facilitate in the investigation into a bribe of 5,000 ringgit that allegedly took place on May 3rd. The remand order against them, including one with the rank of inspector, was issued by Magistrate Muhammad Shahriza Nur Azman at the Temerloh Magistrates Court on Saturday. Apart from the 36-year-old inspector, those remanded are aged between 28 and 46, with the ranks of Lance Corporal, Corporal and Sergeant Major, with all of them attached to the Jerantut IPD's Narcotics Division. All of them were arrested on Friday afternoon after appearing to give statements at the Temerloh Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC office. They were accused of soliciting a bribe from a man as an inducement to solve the case stemming from a raid and the discovery of ketum water in the man's house. Pahang MACC Director Hairuza Muhammad Amin alias Hamim, when contacted, confirmed the arrest. The probe is being conducted under the MACC Act 2009. Nightline draws to a close this time around. Let's take a look at as dozens of dazzling light installations mesmerize visitors during the annual Water Light Festival in the South Tyrol town of Brixen in Italy. This year's themes of the exhibition, now in its 5th year, centered around peace and the environment. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and stay safe.